Hello everybody, it's your non-binary pal Gracious TV here, and I finally did a Pause OC challenge. If you don't know what these are, they usually appear as short-form videos and will have a bunch of pictures appear quickly, and you have to pause to get a random element for a character design. There are a ton of these online, and I decided to use this one by Sam Does Art, and I got a really cool combination. For the skin features, I got a bunch of scars, then I got eyes with makeup, a wavy dreadlock hairstyle, red eyes, and a yellow dress. At this point, I was thinking, okay, these all would be awesome for a drag queen character. I wonder what the last element will be. Dragon drag queen. And that's when this character was born. Since I had sketched out this design a bit ago, moving on to the sketch was easy. Just had to choose a composition. I went with this pose of them sprawling on a couch with a spotlight on them, since skin color wasn't one of the elements options. As soon as I got the combination, I knew I would have to change up the dress since it was very simple. Too simple for our drag queen here. I kept the shape the same, but I added a slit down the skirt, ruffles around the collar here, gloves, and a corset. I also added some sparkles later on and a sheer wrap cloth thing. I definitely think this made the design a bit more interesting. And I hope it's okay that I did add some changes from the original prompt. I also colored in the sketch fully, getting the character colors and values right before moving on. I'm glad I did this so that coloring them in later would be a lot easier. I normally don't do this since I usually draw characters that already have a fully formed design, but here was different. Then I moved on to the line art. As you saw, I was really excited to get the combo I got, and I was really happy to make them a dragon. I actually do have a dragon species in my own stories, and they can shapeshift into different creatures, including humans. However, things like their horns, tails, and bits of scales stay throughout all forms, so this worked perfectly with how I draw human-formed dragons. One thing I thought was really cool was the wings on the arms. The specific type of dragon this makes me think of is the wyvern, which will have their two front arms be their wings. So I imagine that this character is a wyvern themselves. Trying to draw the wings on the arm was a bit challenging, but I got it eventually. I just had to add slits on the gloves so that they would appear more naturally there. The tail in the original was really thin, but I ended up drawing it thicker. I kept the horn shape the same, and the spiky scales on the shoulders. Now, one thing that ended up being kind of frustrating was the face. I really didn't like it after looking back at it when I finished it and had to redraw and overpaint it to get it right, which I unfortunately ended up doing after recording. Since their eyes are red, I decided to add more red elements throughout the design, in the hair and their dragon elements, and also added yellow elements to match the dress, including their scars. And of course, I added the same makeup look as the prompt, which was a little bit hard to make clear because of the scales on their face, but oh well. For the rendering, I went with reds for the shadows since the background was a dark red, and yellow for the highlights. Rendering was really fun here, again despite the face being challenging, and at this point you'll also notice that I drew them with what looks like a smoking pipe, and it has a bit more lore to it, but that will be for the next part. Drawing this was really fun, and I think my favorite bit about this is the colors. Now, sometime after this, I really didn't want to keep this character as a one-off illustration, and I had a fun idea for a character, so I decided to repurpose them a little bit and give them a whole concrete design and even a name. Meet Zarin Gold, the Dragon Drag Queen Detective. They're a genderqueer guy who works as a drag performer and private detective. They live in the main city of Miracles universe, and as a side project, I've been working a little bit on making this a novel featuring some stories about this character and the mysteries he's solved. Zarin is a wise and level-headed person that's good at seeing the little things, but they're also very dramatic and a big diva. They're famous and fancy, and they know it. They can also be pretty blunt and can get upset over small things. This was a really fun character to start writing for, and I gave them an official rush seat with a couple of different outfits. Their main outfit is the gown, of course. They also have a more casual work outfit and a chill/sleeping outfit. I stuck with black and gold for all of these, and the rest of the design stayed mostly the same, but I did have to remove the wings on the arms, unfortunately. They are still a wyvern, but I couldn't figure out how to draw them in this pose, and they didn't really work with the outfits either. I also changed their eye color to purple. The red eyes were making the design look too monochromatic, so I wanted something else that popped. Plus, red eyes in my stories are very important, and I only give them to a few of my characters, and that wouldn't really work here, so yeah. I really love this design, and I'm excited to share this project when I start it eventually. I think it'll be a lot easier since it's a book rather than yet another comic, so yeah, we'll see how that goes. And if you're curious about the smoking pipe thing, it's not actually a normal one with like nicotine and stuff. It's actually what I imagine more of like a disability aid for dragons. In my version of dragons, some dragons have, well, all dragons actually have a little chamber where their lungs are that produces heat and smoke, and that's how they get fire breath, and also how they stay warm, because dragons are basically big lizards. So how else are they gonna stay really warm? And that's how they stay really warm, and how they have that fire breath. But some dragons lack that chamber, or like doesn't have enough like heat in that chamber. So some will use this pipe, this what looks like a normal human smoking pipe, but is actually meant to like refill that chamber manually. So yeah, it's more of an aid thing than an actual thing. And actually normal cigarettes or like normal smoking stuff is actually extremely deadly to dragons. So yeah, this is the complete opposite of that. I'm not trying to promote smoking here, don't do that. This is just a fun way to reinterpret that. But anyway, that is all for this video. Thank you so much for watching. This was really fun to do. I know the illustration kind of looks pretty different from the official design of this character, but yeah, I have some more artworks planned for this character that I want to share because I think he's really cool and I want to draw him some more. So yeah, if you want to read some of my comics that I was talking about a little earlier, you can do so in the description below. And yeah, I also have my artworks there and all of that. Hope you all enjoyed the video, and I will see you in the next one. Bye!